Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini from GayGamer.net. Still, despite what the internet may say, the GayGamer.net still lives on in my heart. So to continue from last week, I am still getting used to my new PS4, learning all of its little quirks. I mentioned last week how I discovered that setting the audio for, Blu-rays in the settings menu apparently only applied to games. Because when I would try to watch a Blu-ray movie, those sound settings did not apply. And I discovered that you had to actually start a Blu-ray, go into the options, find the settings in there, and then turn that on. That then works for every Blu-ray I've played since, so that seems to have fixed that. But I don't understand why they don't apply to every Blu-ray disc that you put in, whether it's a game or a movie. I don't know. Probably for the same reason that when you set up your PlayStation account on the PS4, and it asks if you'd like to link it to Facebook or Twitter or whatever, I had mine linked to Facebook, so, my PS3 and Vita would then, post trophies for me and stuff. I thought, yes, I will link my PS4 to Facebook same way, and it'll post all my trophies same way. And you set it up, you enter your password, and then it's like, okay, what do you want to post? And I'm like, okay, when I start a new game, sure, we'll post that to Facebook. Okay, when I get a trophy, yes, I would like that to post to Facebook. And you go through all of these checklists, only to find when you're playing a game, and you get a trophy, it doesn't actually do anything. And according to the internet, from what I can discern, it used to. But one of the more recent PlayStation updates to the system software borked that somehow, and now it doesn't automatically post, and you have to manually go in and post all your trophies. That's kind of annoying, and I don't like doing it. Because I remember, back on the 360, it used to automatically do it, and then they changed their minds and said, no, you have to do it yourself. And I'm like, who has time for that? Because I also liked the way that the PlayStation wouldn't do it every single time. It would, do it at a certain point, so that any trophies you'd earned, you'd earn a bunch of trophies and then you would sync your trophies, and then it would say, okay, and then it would post to Facebook that you'd earned, 4 trophies on this game, and it was nice to just have the one post for all the, instead of, spamming Facebook with all the different trophies. But, so now, since I have to do it manually, I basically do it only when, it's either an interesting trophy, or a rare trophy, or something I can say something snarky about on Facebook. And, of course, when I finish a game. It's just so I can show everybody, ta-da, I finished a game, because that, hardly ever happens. But it's just annoying, because it's why did my PlayStation 4 ask me all this stuff about Facebook, and then just be like, oh, thank you for answering all these questions, I'm going to ignore everything you've told me. Thanks, enjoy your game, bye. It's just rude. The other thing that irks me to no end, and it's funny because the PlayStation 3, fantastic, loved it. The PlayStation is my Blu-ray player. I don't have a separate Blu-ray player. That's how I watch my movies. So, naturally, I was annoyed that I had to get a brand new remote for the PS4, because the PS3 remote will not work with the PS4. Which is fine, I understand there's different buttons, it's whatever. It's fine. It's only it's $30, which is pricey for a remote, but I use it enough that it's my main Blu-ray player to watch movies, and I would just rather have an actual remote control, for menus and fast-forwarding and rewinding and pausing, and not have to try to remember what controller buttons do what. So fine. I buy the remote. The layout of the buttons is not great, but what irks me the most about it... Okay, wait, there's 2 things that irk me about it. First, you press the PlayStation button to turn on the PlayStation, and sometimes it will say, you have activated the PlayStation Media remote. Who's using it? obviously it's me. There's just me. So I say, okay, it's me, it's fine. And then everything's fine. Sometimes I press the button and it turns on the PlayStation and it's like, welcome back to PlayStation. Press the PlayStation button on your controller to get started. And I'm like, I don't want to activate my controller. I want to activate the remote. And pressing the PlayStation button on the remote does nothing. So I have to shut the PlayStation off and then turn it back on again. And it's really irritating. That happens like 50% of the time, it seems. It's really annoying. But what I find even more annoying than that is when you're watching a movie, if you want to pause it, the remote goes to sleep. I looked this up. And it goes to sleep after 30 minutes. In the instructions it says it goes to sleep after 30 minutes. So you have to press the PlayStation button to wake the remote up so that you can pause the movie. So you can go to the bathroom or get a snack or whatever. And I'm like, that's not how remote controls work. Every other remote control ever, including the PlayStation 3 remote control, you push a button, it activates. And then it'll go back to sleep. You push a button, it activates. And then I guess it goes back to sleep or whatever. And I'm just like, why does this remote behave so stupidly? These are the things that make no sense to me. That Sony made with the PlayStation 4, and it's so great, but at the same time there's all these things that I'm like, what are you thinking? It was perfectly fine, and now you fucked it up. Pardon my French. Ugh. But whatever, I'll deal. I have no choice. I'm not going to go out and buy another Blu-ray player. Like, what's the point of that? I have a Blu-ray player. Who cares? So anyway, enough bitching. Let me talk about the game that I've been playing, which is still Uncharted, which surprisingly to me, I have now finished. Like, I never finish games that quickly. It's been like a week and a half or whatever, and I'm done. I finished it yesterday. And I was like, how am I already at the end of this game? Because I could tell I was already at the end of the game because it got really hard, and I kept dying a lot. Also, they aped the original Tomb Raider style right down to the, towards the end of the game, weird supernatural mutant creatures show up. I didn't have to fight a dragon at the end, but it still got, like, completely weird, and you're like, well, this is coming out of basically nowhere, but okay. They're just aping the Tomb Raider style, so okay, fine. But it was really... I don't know if this means that Uncharted was so good that I couldn't put it down and I was playing it every day and I just plowed through it, or if Uncharted was really short. Too short, maybe. I don't know. Although I do have to say that the fact that I think what helped make it go faster is that it's a very linear game, and it just basically, it's like, here's your path through this area, and kill everyone in your way, and, you know, run and jump and climb and swing and whatever to get to the next area. So there's no, like, here's the big open area that you can, like, explore these nooks and crannies like in Tomb Raider, where you're going to find hidden secrets and hidden pathways and hidden stuff everywhere. There's less exploring in an Uncharted game. It's much more linear, so I feel like that probably shaved a good, like, 5 to 10 hours off my gameplay, because I'm one of those people that likes to look for every nook and cranny. To be fair, I think I have, like, 30-something of the 60 treasures that you can find in the game, because I would look in every nook and cranny for, like, whatever, but somehow I still missed a bunch, so maybe there are secret areas that I was supposed to go and find and I just didn't. But that's also the game, like, stressing this linear move forward through the area, get to the next area. You know, because it's so linear, in the beginning I feel like I was trying to go elsewhere and climb these rocks and climb those rocks and whatever, and nothing would ever work. So I was like, okay, clearly it's a linear game, I'm meant to just go forward, and I'll just check every nook and cranny of the spaces that I'm in. I'm not meant to look for extra pathways to additional spaces. Fine. So if later in the game there were extra areas that I was supposed to, like, climb up here instead of going this way to climb up over here, and you'd find a whole separate room with extra stuff, I wasn't going to go and do that because the game taught me that's not what this game is about. So if you introduce that element later on, it's not going to work as well. But that's just me. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fine. it wasn't great, and it didn't so much end as just sort of stop. The ending I thought was kind of anticlimactic. It was also super frustrating because I died a lot, because basically the final battle with the boss, you have to do this melee fighting combo that I had never done throughout the entire game. So suddenly on the final boss, you have to be able to pull off this combo, and I had never done it before, so I hadn't practiced, so I was like, well, I'm not going to be... So it took me a really long time to get the timing right and to figure it out and finally beat him. But it was fine. I mean, it came with my system, so, and I've still got 2 more of them to go, so... And I hear the 4th one's really good, so I look forward to that someday. I also hear the 2nd one is good, so... I feel like this one was okay, I'll play the next one, and it'll be, like, really good. And then the 3rd one will be a bit of a letdown, but then eventually I'll get the 4th one, and that'll be, like, ta-da! Because I'm told that the 4th one actually has a decent story. So it's not just, here's some stuff, run, kill people. The killing was, there's a lot of shooting, and it's a little more combat. I would prefer more exploration than combat, but that's just me. That's why I kind of prefer the Tomb Raider games, because it's more about exploring and finding things, and less about the killing people. Also, this is going on a bit long this week, again, so I'm going to wrap it up now, but I did want to mention that I did try one thing the other night. I was playing Uncharted after work, and I suddenly got a notification pop up that my friend Daryl wanted to watch me stream my game. And I said, okay, but I didn't know how to do that. Plus, my husband had just come home, so I was going to go make dinner anyway, so I was going to stop playing. So I messaged him, I was like, sorry dude, I would have let you if I knew how to do it, and I had to go make dinner anyway, sorry. So the next day, I said, let me look into this. So I decided to try streaming on YouTube to see what it would look like. Because I don't have a Twitch. I don't use Twitch at all, so... But I have YouTube, so I was like, I'll just stream it onto YouTube. Why sign up for another account for another thing? So I streamed like almost 15 minutes of Uncharted gameplay onto YouTube. And at some point I noticed that somebody started watching me, and I was like, who is this random person that just started watching me play Uncharted? But I also wanted to see if after it was done streaming, if YouTube would then archive it, and it does. So if you go to my YouTube channel, if you're a subscriber, you've already probably gotten a notification that it's there, and you might have already seen it. But there is a video of me playing almost 15 minutes of Uncharted and cursing a lot because I keep dying. But people had been saying they wanted to see me do a Let's Play, but I didn't have the technology for video capture to do it. But the PlayStation 4 makes it like super easy apparently now, so I'm streaming. I don't know what I'll do. I'm not going to like just start streaming games, but probably when No Man's Sky comes out, I will stream some of that if people want to watch. I guess I can tweet out and let people know that I'm doing it. But then it's all going to be on my YouTube channel, so all of you weirdos who wanted to watch me play a game, ta-da, there you go, now you can watch me play a game. Although honestly, I don't know why anybody would want to watch somebody play a game for like 15-30 minutes or whatever. It's like 15 minutes of me running around and like being lost and getting killed a bunch of times and cursing, and I don't feel like I have anything super witty to say about the game as I'm playing it. So whatever. I've never been into Let's Play videos, but there you go. You wanted it? There's one to watch now, and look forward to more in the future, I suppose, since the PlayStation 4 actually makes that kind of super easy to do. And don't worry, this one I didn't do full screen. I didn't know what I was doing. The next time it'll be full screen and you won't have that little window in the corner. I promise. So I'll see you back here next week when I will talk about a new PlayStation 4 game that I just bought that I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I bought it because I knew I was at the end of Uncharted, so I'm going to start that. So I'll have that to talk about next week. So, mystery new game. Bye! See you next week. Find out what it is.